Hello and welcome to the Stronghold Digital Mining Daily Update. Today is Friday, December 29th, 2023. The entire publicly traded Bitcoin mining ecosystem has taken a plunge, a fairly significant plunge. Shares of Stronghold Digital Mining probably down close to 25% today. It looks like we closed at around $7.30 a share. The market just closed a couple of minutes ago, so the dust may still be settling. But needless to say, for some, this can be a very upsetting experience. I wasn't really that excited on the way up. I'm really not that concerned on the way down. The reason why is because many of us who have been involved with shares of Stronghold Digital Mining for quite some time have kind of been through this before. We've had, I believe, two other instances in 2023 where shares of the company rose in price only to then fall in price. I do suspect that this is something clearly beyond just Stronghold Digital Mining, right? It's not like there's something specific to the company that has caused any of this movement in the share price. This has really been a sector-wide movement. And so it suggests to me, and I'm curious if it suggests this to you as well, that there's a lot of very, very fast money, both moving into the publicly traded Bitcoin mining sector, and then that same money, as quickly as it comes in, it can move out, right? If the momentum isn't sustaining itself, that portion of capital that is purely interested in nothing but momentum will then go away, right? And sometimes it could become arguably a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Capital starts to rush in, that ushers in even more capital. When that capital becomes skittish or afraid or uncertain or confused as to why it was moving in a particular direction in the first place, well, then that capital will have a tendency to very quickly move in another direction. Now, you tell me, because I have not been paying that close of attention to the news, has the United States Securities and Exchange Commission decided that Bitcoin is a prohibited investment vehicle? Is Bitcoin being banned? I haven't really seen the price of Bitcoin move that much, so I'm inclined to think there really hasn't been any negative commentary from government regulators. So, okay, if we can sort of remove Bitcoin as being a potential culprit for what we've seen insofar as the movement in the price of publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies, then the next follow-up question is, hey, how about fees, transaction fees? Have they collapsed back to 1 or 2%? I did take a look at transaction fees earlier today, and I saw that they appeared to be quite elevated, something like 25% of the block reward added onto that block reward is essentially transaction fees. That's very, very good. Is there anything specific to the publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies themselves? Has there been a new piece of legislation thoughtfully put forth by members, elected members of a legislative body, perhaps here in the United States or elsewhere, which would have the effect, the legislation that is, would have the effect of perhaps outlawing or somehow dismantling the publicly traded Bitcoin mining infrastructure? I haven't seen anything to that effect. Have you? Again, I think if something like that were to have occurred, we'd probably see the price of Bitcoin itself taking a pretty sharp nosedive. And I have not, at least as of yet, witnessed that happening today. So I think that kind of leaves us with this hypothesis, right? That, hey, maybe there's an algorithm, maybe there's a computer like program of sorts which signals where vast sums of capital should perhaps go, and maybe that capital begins to flow in a particular direction, and then suddenly, just as quickly as that capital inflow began, it reverses itself and the money kind of flows out. So regardless of the reason we still nevertheless are left with shares of Stronghold Digital Mining having closed what appear to be at about $7.30. Look, it's just another day in the market for me. So, all right, with all of that said, Happy New Year. We'll see each other over the weekend, albeit through a podcast, and we will reunite again like this, probably sometime next week. I believe markets may be open again on Tuesday, January 2nd, and we shall see what is to become of shares of Stronghold Digital Mining as we get into 2024 in earnest. Okay, let's stay positive, let's be great, and I'll see you then.